So Tor, what do you find in your business and your experience is often misunderstood when it comes to how to value a piece of land from the buyer's perspective and from the seller's perspective?
Another interesting question, Alex. So as a landowner, I think from their perspective, a lot of landowners don't understand the implications of getting planning permission. So that's all about understanding planning constraints. And constraints on a site are things determined by the local policy, from the local authority, to do with what units are most in demand, whether it's family units or whether it's smaller units for professionals. Also the allocation to affordable housing on bigger schemes. Most landowners don't, know much about that. So yeah, they're the main things about, the amount of units that you could potentially get on a site. And then from a developer's perspective, I think the most misunderstood thing is the build costs. So, that there's lots of things that can affect that, but probably where most of the time costs go over budget is because, the developer hasn't factored in everything like services, access, things like that, and that's often what takes the build cost over budget. So that's particularly relevant for a joint venture. So if a developer is doing a joint venture with a landowner, then obviously if the build costs escalate, that affects both parties.
And do you think it's important for a developer to consider the materials or the type of construction methods they'll use, or do you think that is something that can be left till later on once they've got the deal agreed?
Yeah, that's an interesting one, because obviously the materials should be looked at the planning stage. Particularly we're doing a scheme at the moment which is a listed area, where there's a conservation order on the properties around there. So the materials makes a material difference to actually getting the planning permission. But then in terms of selling the properties for the best possible price, there's a fine balance between spending enough on the materials to get that higher price, but not spending too much where you're losing money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.